What's going on, guys? It's Red Bull Tanker, and welcome back to Axis and Allies 1914. This is turn 3 for the German Empire. Didn't mention this before or on the last German turn. We are now in the months of August 1915 to January 1916, so we are getting into it a little bit there. All right. So let's back it up. We'll start with Austria. They had 26 IPC to spend, and they had a lot to recover. They ended up buying 7 infantry and an artillery, and saved 1 IPC. They had 2 combats. They did attack in Serbia, and finally wrapped that up. They killed the remaining Serbian infantry at a loss of an artillery. And then a combined Austrian force the Austrian force from Budapest attacked Trieste. They killed the lone Italian infantry there at no... One second. Oh, there was an infantry lost. Wait. Did I take that casualty? Yes, I did. At a loss of 1 infantry. They did not try and attack Triolia. They held off attacking that, and then dropped their purchases in Bohemia and Vienna. All right, over to the Russian Empire. The Russians had... Oh, and then at the end of the turn, the Austrians collected 22 IPC. Russia had 28 to spend. They bought 8 infantry and an artillery. They only did 1 combat. They moved 3 infantry out of the Ukraine down here to try and wipe out the 4 Ottoman units here. Unfortunately, the Russians only got 1 hit to the Ottomans' 3 hits, so that dealt a deadly blow to the Russians. Then they deployed both in the Ukraine and Poland. And at the end of the turn, Russia collected 25 IPC. All right, Germany. We had 41 to spend, so we'll come over here to the build chart, or the little build thing. We are building 6 infantry, 2 artillery. Wait a minute. No, 5 infantry, 2 artillery, and a fighter. Do I have that right? Nope, I have that way off. This is also supposed to be... So we're building 3 infantry in Silesia, 4 infantry, 2 artillery, and a fighter in the Ruhr, and then 2 infantry in Berlin. The Germans will not be conducting any combat this turn. We are going to do a halt of operations and just do some non-combat. So starting in Europe, up here in the Ruhr, we're going to take 2 infantry and the artillery from the Ruhr and move it down to Munich. Got to keep an eye on these pesky Italians down there. The remaining 4 infantry from the Ruhr, we're going to go into Belgium and support German operations there. And I can do some chipping out of that in a little bit. And then let's see here. I think that is it, because we're not gonna make any movements down here in Africa with our 4 units there. We'll let the Allies come to us. And so, okay, so then we'll deploy. Like I said, we were doing 3 infantry here in Silesia. Where did I just put them? And then the fighter, 4 infantry, and 2 artillery in the Ruhr. And then throwing down 2 more infantry there in Berlin. All right, and then at the end of the turn, the Germans will collect 38 IPC. So then one thing of note that I'm going to note, because I didn't note it in the introduction, but starting next turn as we enter the high point of of the war with getting into the summer of 1916, a rule that is being introduced, and this comes from the Global War 1914 game, is that on the Western Front, Germany, Britain, and France have to launch an attack every turn starting now. They only have to do it with four units of whatever they want to do. If they don't launch an attack, it'll cost them 5 IPC every turn. And then also, because I also forgot to mention, what happens in the spring of 1916 is we have the Easter Rebellion here in Ireland. That will become something in the next turn that'll get rolled for. On Germany's turn, we'll roll a dice, and what was it? On a 2 or less, the Easter we'll roll a d6, and on a 2 or less, the Easter Rising will occur, and Germany will drop 2 infantry there into Ireland, just to cause the British some headaches. And then yeah, that'll be it for turn 3. And then I can't remember if I had mentioned this in my introduction. I'd have to go back, but I'm pretty sure I'd mentioned that no matter what, this game, for this version, the Russian Revolution is not optional. The Russian Revolution will happen on turn 7. No. Yes, turn 7. Turn 7, the Russian Revolution will occur. I mean, we'll roll a dice. The only way the Russian Revolution... So we'll roll a d6 on turn 7 at the beginning of the Russian turn. If a 1 pops up, the revolution won't happen. But obviously, a 2 or higher, the revolution will occur and Russia will exit the game. So that's stuff to look forward to coming up in the future. But so that is going to be it for Germany right now, and we will see you guys next time for Great Britain. So until then, guys, as always, take care.